Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. It's Natasha Bailey of Soul Mission here. I'm super excited to be sharing this free Facebook Live with you. It's called Balance Your Life to Balance Your Soul Mission. So hello. Hi, Shakya. Nice to see you. So we're going to just give people a few minutes to refresh this page and join us before we get started. But for those of you who have already joined, I really recommend that you get a piece of paper and a pen so that you can take notes and prepare any questions that you have that you want to ask for later. So, hello, nice to see you, nice to see you. Okay, so we're just going to wait for a couple of more people to join us. So I am also going to check the comments section so that I can keep track of this Facebook Live. Okay. So yeah, just give yourself a few minutes to get a pen and paper and some water. We're going to go on for about an hour. And in a moment, I'm going to tell you what we're going to be doing and what I'm going to be sharing with you tonight. Great, so Facebook Live is working well. So I think we're going to get started. Hello, welcome Elisa to this free Facebook Live. So hello, Elisa Piatek as well. So I really recommend everybody get a piece of paper and pen, take notes and get some water. In fact, I'm going to go and get some water now because it's just out of reach. So I'll be back in a second. So I think we're about ready to get started. So I'm guessing you're here because there is a yearning within inside of you. A yearning to move forward in life, to progress in life, to fulfill a desire that's burning inside of you. Maybe it's to make a difference to the people around you. Maybe it's to make a difference in the world. And maybe you feel like me. Every morning I wake up and I think, I'm here again. When I would rather be home. So the question is, where is home? I suspect for most of you, home is maybe not planet Earth, but it might be some other galaxy that you feel most resonates with you. And as you may or may not know, there is a reason that you're here. We all volunteered to come to this planet to help raise the vibration. Now, everybody does this in their own and unique way, and you have your way. So I know that each and every one of you has that special gift, that special service that you can share with others. And you agreed to come here to make a difference. And I suspect that maybe making that difference, it might be making progress, or maybe you've gotten derailed. Maybe you're slightly off track and you're wondering, how can I get back on track and really move forward with my soul mission, with my life purpose? So if you've been following some of my Facebook Lives, you would have noticed the last one was all about how to fulfill your galactic soul mission. So in that Facebook Live, I talked about the steps and the solutions that light workers, energy workers, and starseeds like us need to take in order to remove any obstacles that are standing in our way. This Facebook Live is going to be talking about some of those obstacles that might be standing in your way. And that's the purpose behind this Facebook Live. Because when we have balance in those different areas of our life, it's a lot more easier to move forward in our soul mission. There is balance in order to support our soul mission. So tonight I'm going to talk about the 8 opportunities that are in front of you that could allow you to move forward in your soul mission. And then I'm going to share a 9th opportunity, a 9th element that also needs to be in balance in order to make sure that the other 8 are in balance. So we're going to look at those 8 things in life that are very handy to have in balance. Then we're going to do card readings for 3 people. We're going to choose 3 people later tonight who have questions about their soul mission, their soul purpose. So if you have a particular question about your soul mission, your soul purpose, do write it down. You might think of it as we do this Facebook Live, but do have something written down ready for later, because I'm going to do an intuitive reading, but also with cards as well. So I've got the Rumi Oracle deck by Alana Fairchild. I've got the Goddess Guidance Oracle deck. I've got the Caroline Myss Archetypes card deck. I've got the Lightworker Oracle deck, again by Alana Fairchild. She's amazing. And the Daily Guidance Angels by Doreen Virtue. Now, this is Doreen Virtue before she let everything go. She's going through her Saturn return, and we just need to allow her to do that. But I thank her for all the beautiful cards and lessons that she's given us up until now. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to look at those 8 parts of your life that need to be in balance in order for your soul mission to be in balance. And I'm going to be quite open and honest with you. I'm going to share examples from my own life where things were out of balance and how out of balance they were, and how they impacted me on my progress in life. And I'm sure some of these are going to resonate with you. So if they do, or if you have any comments, you just feel free to put a comment in the comments box down below. So before we start, I just want to check, can everybody hear me clearly? That's the main thing. So if you can you say yes, or I can hear you in the comments box, please? Okay, awesome. Thank you, Elisa. Thank you, Shakya. All right, let's get started. So, really, we do need to have 8 areas of our life more or less in balance for us to move forward in life. And I'm sure a lot of you will have seen this same design or image before. Now, this is the Wheel of Life, but I've slightly amended it for my own benefit and what's worked for me on my journey. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to draw a large circle on the sheet of paper that you have. Yeah. And then once you've drawn that circle, I want you to divide it in half, in quarters, and then you should have 4 on either side. So 8 quarters in total. Yeah. So down, across, and diagonally. And this is going to help us to look back and reflect on where you are as well. Okay. Okay. And don't worry, it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. It's fine. So let's start on the first area of life. So you could put home at the top, at the very top, at the 12 o'clock position. So home life, okay? So it is important that our home life, our home environment, our physical environment supports us so that we can go about our soul mission. Now, whether it's, for example, living in a home that's very cluttered and it's difficult to get round, then the energy in the home is going to be very stagnant. It's very difficult to move around. And let's say the bedroom is completely full of stuff. It's not going to be so easy to sleep a peaceful sleep, because belongings and items, they have their energy and they emit energy of their own. So we have to be mindful that we create a welcoming environment in our home, and which allows us to go about our daily business. Now, I've managed to set up my home in such a way that it fulfills multiple functions for me. Not only is a place where I live, but I run two businesses from here. One is a bed and breakfast business, but also I run my healing clinic from home. So for me, it's been absolutely essential to make sure that it's completely clutter and clean and tidy, so I can go about doing my business. Now, the problem is, what if you don't have a permanent home? Let's say someone doesn't have their own home, and I'm not talking about owning your own home. This is not about that, but actually having a base to operate from and to come back to. So I know people who don't have their own home. They are technically homeless, and they are sofa surfing with friends. Now, it may be working them for a while, but obviously friends' circumstances may change, or friends may not wish to house you. And so, you know, it's not a very secure base to operate from. And what you'll find is the energy can be quite unstable, and which means it's very difficult to attract the people into your life that you want to serve in your soul mission, whatever that may be. Maybe you want to be a naturopath, maybe you want to be a Reiki healer, or a coach, or medium, whatever it is. So can you imagine if you don't have a permanent base, how unstable that's going to be? So I'm going to share something from my life. So some years ago, when I had a previous spiritual business, I was getting deep into the law of attraction and how this was working. And having not learned certain things that I know now, at that point, I was quite delusional, I would say, about money. And it got to the point that I almost had my home taken away from me, repossessed by the bank, this very home. Because I believed, well, as long as I believe and I think that I will, attract the clients or the money into my life, then everything's going to be okay. But as time went by and more letters from the bank arrived, I realized that actually I was doing a foolish thing, just allowing things to unfold the way that they were. Because not only would I be losing my home, but I would be losing the healing clinic that I operate from. And therefore, I wouldn't be able to continue serving my customers or progress in my soul mission. So I made a sensible decision. I decided to go out there and get employment, because at that point, I didn't have any steady income coming in. So that was one of the best decisions I made, which allowed me to stabilize my groundedness, stabilize my base chakra. So I don't know if any of you resonate with having an unstable accommodation, but do you remember how fearful and uncomfortable feeling that is, not knowing where you are. So imagine that this spoke here is a spoke where going from 0 to 10 to the outside, yeah? So I just want you to kind of put an X as to how satisfied you are with this area of your life. So if it's a 5, just put a 5 in there. Yeah. And later on, I'm going to explain why we're doing this and to give you like a visual picture of where things are at with yourself as well. Okay. So any questions so far about the home issue or anything to do with your physical environment? So I'm going to move on, and actually I'm going to take questions at the very end so we can group them together and answer a few. So if you go on to the next item on your Wheel of Life spoke, this is work / your soul mission. So your work, your career, it could very well be your soul mission. I'm going to say it's your secondary soul mission. Your primary soul mission comes later, and I'm going to explain why in a moment. So if you're not clear about what your soul mission is, maybe you've got lots of different things on the go and you're not quite sure which aspect works for you, then, there's not a lot of clarity about how to move forward or about what to do. Or maybe you are clear about your soul mission, but you are not sure about the steps to take. So, for example, if you want to set up your own business, what would be the first steps to take to make that happen? And again, I learned from my own mistakes, although I had some teachers who, actually I had the right teacher at the right time, but I just learned the wrong lessons at that time. But there are certain things that need to happen in the first 3 months of business. It's different from the first 2 years and the first 10 years. And not a lot of coaches or teachers tell you what the most important aspects are in the first 3 months. And therefore, it's very easy to spend a couple of years kind of stabbing in the dark, wondering, what's going to happen, and not having some clear systems in place to help you move along. Now, being clear about your soul mission is also really important for your motivation levels, because if you're clear about what you want to do and you're passionate about it, then it's going to keep motivating you. It's going to keep driving you forward to keep finding answers, solutions to those natural steps that you take to progress in your, life purpose. Because there will always be something to learn. That's totally normal and that's totally fine. But having the motivation will help you to move forward rather than just giving up. Because giving up isn't really an option. If you give up, then actually the world doesn't benefit from your magic, your very unique service that you can help to uplift this world. So I mentioned that this is your secondary soul mission. So your primary mission, which I will explain a bit more later on, will guide this secondary mission. Now, I would say soul mission is the first thing, being of service to others, but actually there's something even more important that needs to be in place to guide this aspect of your career. So next to work and soul mission, I want you to once again put an X by how satisfied you are with this aspect of life. Remembering that if you're coming closer to the circle, 0 means not satisfied, and 10, which is at the outer circle, is completely satisfied. Okay, so just put an X there. Okay, so the next aspect in life that does need to be in balance is money. Yeah, I have to say the spiritual community has a very mixed feeling about money. And a lot of it, unfortunately, comes to brainwashing from religion, where ordinary person was discouraged from being interested in money or accumulating money. And the whole point behind that was to allow the churches to retain power and control over the ordinary citizen. So this whole idea of having money or using money or accumulating money was brainwashed into people as something that was sinful. And that kind of programming runs very, very deep through many, 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 many generations. And what is the result? If we don't have sufficient money to get our message out, to help people, to be of service, then how likely are we to make a difference? So I absolutely encourage you, you are not here to play a small game. You're here to make a big difference. Your vibration is at a much higher level of consciousness than most people. Now, I'm not saying that from people are inferior or superior, but you have an opportunity to share that vibration and energy and consciousness with people. So if you shy away from money, or you're not charging for your services, or you're not charging enough for your services, then you stay small, and therefore the world doesn't benefit from what you have to offer. So what am I talking about in terms of money? So in your personal life, it's useful to have certain things in place. Yeah. So it's useful to have a good 3 to 4 months of income in place in a savings or an emergency account, so that you have a backup plan to fall on when life throws you something unexpected. During the beginning of my recovery from life and becoming more aware of who I was really focusing on my health and getting healthy again. And towards the end, I got a phone call that my mother was about to go in for double heart bypass surgery. And my parents live in another country. So I quite literally dropped everything I had here in London and flew over to help my mother recover from her operation. So I was with my parents for a couple of months. And during that time, it's important to have extra money in place so that, if you're not earning, that you have something ticking your bills over, keeping things going. So it could be that kind of emergency, for example. But also, simply from a day-to-day living perspective, if you're living at break even with no fallback plan, quite literally, you could be 1 to 3 months away from homelessness. Or if you have an emergency and you've got no savings at all, then you're immediately going to go into debt. So this is not going to support you or nourish you. If you're going to be in that constant state of fear of I'm breaking even, I don't know how I'm going to pay the bills, can you imagine how your vibration is going to drop, how you're going to come across to customers, let alone how that's going to affect your health, your well-being. So I want you to have a think about how satisfied you are with your money situation. Yeah. So again, just mark an X from 0 to 10 here on the line. How satisfied you are with your money situation. So again, I'm going to use another example from my personal life. So when I had no regular income coming in, and in a previous business that I had, I was completely relying on state benefits, but also sales coming in from the business that I was running at the time. And what happened was I was approaching my customers not from a place of balance or comfort, but from a place of neediness. So you can imagine what what my customers' reactions were. They ran away from me. Because, you know, our customers buy or our services from us based on how you feel, how your energy feels, how your vibration feels. And at that time, I was coming from a place of neediness. So that was absolutely putting them off. And of course, we want to, as much as possible, be in integrity and be a role model for them, as to show them how they can live their life. Okay, so the next aspect that we're going to look at is health, your health. So along my early recovery, which is a good 7 to 10 years ago, I was in a very low point in my life. I had been in a short-term abusive relationship, and I was recovering from the impact of that. And I was suffering from low mood, from worry, and I really felt traumatized. And for a while, I just kind of rolled around aimlessly, not really kind of having any plan as to what I was going to do to help myself. I just assumed that this is how things would always be. I thought I'd never have a life again. I thought I'd never date again or have another boyfriend again. And so my health was in a very bad place indeed. And I ended up being a very big girl indeed. I don't know if you've seen some of my before-after pictures, but I was pretty much going into the obese index. And that was having all sorts of impact, like health impacts. Basically, I wasn't taking care of myself. So again, if we're going to go out there and try to be of service to people, then we need to make sure that we're in good health, that we're taking good care of ourselves. So what did I end up doing? I was blessed by a friend at the time. She took me to this traditional Chinese medicine clinic near Highgate at the time for an open day, where they did an assessment on me, and they immediately said, look, you are in a bad way. You need to come in for a treatment straight away. And so I spent the next year with them, receiving acupuncture, balancing my energy, receiving nutritional advice, and also taking herbal and supplement advice, and also taking advice on lifestyle. So meaning sleeping patterns, techniques to help with my stress levels. And I was also starting to learn Tai Chi from them to really get in touch with my energy and harness that. And bit by bit, my health improved and I stabilized, which allowed me to take the next couple of steps. So have a think about, where's your health at the moment? How satisfied are you with your health? So again, just put an X somewhere on the spoke where in the middle of the circle it's 0, on the outside it's 10. You're most satisfied. Yeah. Yeah. So, and as some of you may or may not know, I had an accident a couple of months ago where I twisted my ankle, and that did prevent me from doing certain things in my life. So it's super, super important to be mindful of where you're going, what you're doing, and to be really, really grounded. And for me, that was a lesson in taking some time out to reflect on my next moves in my business. So I decided to take some steps to reduce my days in my employment and to focus more on this business. So every cloud has a silver lining. Although I had my ankle injury, it gave me time to reflect. Right, so the next area of life is friends and family. Friends and family. So if you are having a difficult time with your nearest and dearest, how much of your energy do you think that will take from you thinking, worrying, considering, reflecting on how things are going for the people closest to you? And you may have heard that the 5 people that you spend the most time with, that's whose vibration you'll end up matching. So if the people around you are going through a lot of troubles and they're at a lower vibration to you, they're going to bring your energy down. Now, this is not to say that they're bad people or anything like that, no. But what I am saying is choosing how much time you spend with people and also allowing people to be on their journey, on their soul journey. Now, I tend to split friends and family because sometimes you can have a very good relationship with one but not with the other, or vice versa, or both. It's different. It's different for everybody. Definitely, if you have unresolved issues with your family, that is something that you would definitely need to look into, get relevant therapies to heal your relationship with your family. And if it's not possible, some of you may be out of contact with your family through choice, which is absolutely your free will. That's fine. But it's worthwhile at least resolving how you feel about your family, because we can give our power away to people to affect our energy of our life. So you have the power to choose how much you're allowing someone to affect your mood. Now, with biological family, obviously, you don't have a choice. They're in your life, and that's how it is. With friends, however, you do have a choice. And I'm totally for loyalty and supporting people and being there for them. And sometimes people just move on in life, and that's totally okay. So using an example from my own life, years and years ago, I was hanging out with friends and also a boyfriend who were doing drugs, who were drinking, and their mood and their interactions was really fluctuating. And I started going to the acupuncture clinic and started feeling better about myself. And the more I took care of myself, the more starkly the contrast became between myself and these friends. And eventually, I just let them go. And they also let me go. because we no longer resonated at that same vibration. And had I tried to hold on to them, I simply would have held myself back. So I want you to take some time to reflect on whether the people around you, they're really on your wavelength anymore. Are they? Or is it just time to let them go, time to let them be? And at the end of the day, we are all on our soul journey. We are all on our soul mission. And we have to accept people for where they are. Most people won't change. And that is a fact for them. And that's totally okay for them. So at the end of the day, all you can decide is you accept them, spend time with them, or don't spend time with them, or limit the time that you spend with them. Again, another example from my life, I had a difficult relationship with one of my parents, and I had to spend time developing my boundaries. I received psychotherapy, and I had to renegotiate and rearrange the energy between myself and this parent. And I had to teach this parent to respect me and my energy. And I'm super happy to say that we get along very, very well today. And we have a much, much more calm and peaceful relationship. So with some family relationships, absolutely, it's possible to make a difference. It's possible to make a change if both people are willing. But no, both don't have to be willing. In my case, I decided that I was going to change me, and the other parent didn't change, but because how I related to her changed, the dynamic changed. So the interactions became more relaxed and more fluid. Okay, so I'm just going to check in with you guys and see how you're getting on. Are you hearing everything that I'm saying? Are you following? Does this chart make sense so far? If you could let me know with a little yes in the comment box, that would be awesome. Okie dokie. Good, good, good. Excellent. So the next item is that your love life. Oh yeah, if I didn't mention, again, put an X on the friends and family spoke to indicate how satisfied you are with that area of your life, yeah? Okay. So the next area of life is romance or intimate relationships or significant partner in life. Now, this is likely to be somebody that you're going to be spending more time with than anybody else. So their energy is absolutely going to play a major role in how you are feeling. And obviously, because you're going to be in an intimate relationship with them, your energy fields will merge. So it's super, super important to make sure that when you come together, you're both at a high vibration and your interactions are at a more conscious level. So you can be truly there for each other. Also, if you don't have a love life, if you've gone a long time without being in a relationship or not having a boyfriend or a girlfriend, then, it's time to explore what's going on. Do you want to have a relationship or not? You don't have to. Maybe at this time in your life, other things are more important, and that's totally okay. The important thing is that you continue to allow yourself to interact with romantic potentials, to keep allowing the universe to send people into your life who could be suitable. But equally, it's important that if there's someone in your life who really is not suitable for you, or even worse, who is not treating you with respect, kindness, or who is hurting you, that is going to seriously dent your energy field. And you're not going to be able to focus on your soul mission and providing a service to the world. So I already mentioned that I was in a short-term abusive relationship. It's about 10, 12 years ago. And that seriously put a dent in any idea I had about being in a relationship or even contemplating having sex ever again in my life. I found it to be so traumatizing. So definitely, if you're recovering from any kind of relationship like that, you definitely need to have a plan in place to help nourish yourself and get lots of support from professional people. But if you're currently in a relationship, whatever the quality is, do consider, is this person on my level? Are they supporting me? Are they encouraging me to fulfill my soul mission? Or are they annoyed with the time that I'm taking to go for it, go for my dream in life? Well, only you will know. You will feel inside yourselves. I will give you another example from my life. So at one point I had a boyfriend who lived with me, and initially this person lived with me. I didn't ask him to pay for any bills, and I truly believed that he would bring the money in that he needed to support himself. But when months turned into years, and unfortunately he wasn't in a position to really go for it, he was limiting himself as well, and was just spending most of his time at home and not proactively helping himself, either with seeking work or with building his business. This really started to bring my energy down, because what happened? Effectively, I was holding the base chakra for both of us. So I was making sure that we both had a roof over our head, that we both had our bills paid for, so that I was creating a home environment for the both of us. So consequently, that really drained my energy. And especially for women, when you're putting yourself in the position of nourishing not just your own base chakra, but somebody else's base chakra, in effect, you're putting yourself more in the masculine position. So can you imagine? If there is no polarity, there is no sexual tension between the two of you. So you end up like two men living together, or two friends living together. So that doesn't really nourish a relationship. So once again, think carefully about who it is that you let in your life and why. I had to reflect on why I was allowing this person to continue living with me. So there were certain lessons for me to learn from that. So please go ahead and put an X as to where in your love life, how satisfied you feel about it. Again, in the circle is 0, and 10 means most satisfied at the outside. Okay. So the next area of life is growth or personal development. And this is about creating the time, the space, the energy, and resources to reflect on you, your development, your growth. And this is about your primary soul mission. You remember I mentioned earlier that your career or your soul mission is your secondary soul mission. Well, this is your primary soul mission. Your personal development and growth is your primary soul mission. Everybody comes into this life with certain soul lessons to learn, certain karma to let go of. And this is part of your growth, and your growth is your ascension. This is the raising of your vibration. This is essential for your ongoing work. If you're going to be of service to others, you absolutely have to make sure that you make yourself a priority on a regular basis. And I don't mean just like doing personal development work once or twice a year during those typical moments where we do that. Either during our birthday, we become more reflective, or New Year's Eve, or when we come back from a holiday, like we've all been on holiday this summer. It's we need to make regular time to be doing this work. I would say minimum monthly, but weekly ideally. I do some work almost daily. But then with the work that I'm in as a holistic transformation coach, it's essential that I'm constantly working myself so that I can be more there for me and for you as well. So ask yourself, how much time are you creating? Are you creating enough time to reflect on your progress? Do you have people supporting you to do that? Do you have someone keeping you accountable? It's all very well we kind of set certain intentions, but really how often do we check in with ourselves, or does someone check in with us and ask, well, how are you moving forward in these different areas of your life and your soul mission? So important to set a regular time for this. So once again, just put an X somewhere on the spoke as to how satisfied you are with how much progress you're making in your life. Okay, so the final aspect, eighth aspect in life, is fun. Now, if you're spending all your time working and not making time for fun in your life with friends, family, or your significant other, then that's going to drain your energy, and it's going to take you away from being more playful in life and enjoying life quite as much. So another example from my life was early on, in my previous business, in the early days of that business, I remember I was literally working maybe 12 hours a day for months and months and months on end to help set up that business. And I remember there were times when my boyfriend at the time, he would be sitting next to me and just watching me working on the computer, you know, getting ideas together. And because I didn't make the time for him, he then later rebelled with a lot of passive aggressive behavior, trying to make the point that I wasn't making regular time for him, and sometimes when it was convenient for him, and that I was being actually quite selfish about just focusing on the business and not making the time for him. So this is where we need to have balance in life, and how if we don't make time for fun and pleasure, this will affect all of your areas in life in subtle ways. Okay, so in terms of fun in your life, again, put an X somewhere on the spoke as to how satisfied you are with that area of your life. Okay, so if you've done that, we're going to do something now to bring it all together. So you should have an X now on each of these spokes. What I want you to do is I want you to draw a line from each of the X's to the next X on the next spoke until you've joined them all up. So I'm gonna do this for me now, and just as an example to show you what it might look like. Okay, so it looks something like this, yeah? So this is kind of like an example. Right, so if you have done this, likely, so my question is, based on this, how circular is your wheel of life? Is it quite circular? Is it quite balanced? Or is it unbalanced? Are you having a bumpy ride with your wheel of life? So where things are really, really unbalanced, this is somewhere to focus on and to look at to make sure that you are giving that part of your life some more energy and some more attention. So some adjustments will need to be made. I'm not going to tell you how to do that. Number one, because everybody is unique. We need to look at everybody's circumstance. And number two, it's not within the scope of this particular Facebook Live. This is just to give you a tool that you can work with to give you a quick visual overview of where you're at. So if you want to give us a few comments as to where you're at with your wheel of life, is it looking a bit bumpy or is it looking quite circular and balanced? Do let me know. Okay, I'm going to assume that everybody's is fine, and that's great. I'm super, super excited. Now, I mentioned to you the ninth element. The ninth element to help you to get these areas in balance. So as you can see, in the middle of this wheel of life, I've drawn a spiral. Now this represents making sure that there's this in your life that's playing a role for all areas of your life. Now, by the spiral, I am talking about the more feminine or the more receptive energy. If you're a man, the more receptive energy within you. What do I mean by this? If we are receptive, we tune into the guidance that we need to move forward in life. We receive visions, dreams, ideas about where we want to go in life or how we want to change a particular aspect in our life. If we do not allow ourselves the time to be in that receptive flow, in the flow moment, the receptive energy field, we won't know how to then take or what action to then take to move and progress in our life. So it's very important that we have a good connection to our receptive energy, or also known as feminine energy. So why? So that the masculine energy, which is the progress, the energy that moves us or directs us forward, that focuses forward, can move us along this spoke. So where we are closer to zero and we are not that satisfied, the masculine energy can look at, oh, okay, it can see, this is where I'm not satisfied, I need to take some action on here and take some steps to improve things. But we need a good balance of both. We need a good balance of receptive energy, guidance of where we want to improve our life, how we want the life to look like, and we need a good balance of masculine energy to then take the action in a strategic way. Whether it's making time for more fun in life, knowing that you need more fun and play and leisure in life, and then what action to take to have more of that in life is going to be important. So this is what I mean by the 9th element in this life. Having that balance of outward, outgoing energy and receptive, guiding energy. Okay, so ask yourself the question, are you giving time to contemplate and be receptive in all those areas of life, or just some? And are you taking then action in all those areas of life, or only some, or none at all? And this will indicate to you whether you're going to actually make a difference to those scores that you just marked on your wheel of life. Okay. So I've now explained to you sort of my take on how to get more balance in life. And I really want to be very clear with you that it's going to be difficult to achieve 100% perfection and balance in all areas of life, simply because life is constantly changing. So we always have to adapt to circumstances happening. Either we feel differently and we change on the inside, or the external world changes and then we have to adapt. So I don't want you to get like overly hung up with it's got to be perfect, 100%, all the time. It's okay. It fluctuates, Allow yourself to be like a river that flows with whatever's going on. So allow that to happen. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you an opportunity to have an intuitive reading and a card reading with me about a particular area of your life or a question that you have about progressing your soul mission and these different areas of your life, how it may be impacting you moving forward on your life purpose. So if you haven't got a question ready, do write one down. Before we do the card reading, I want to make an announcement. So I want to offer you a very special opportunity to attend an event that I'm hosting next week. And this event is called Starseed, What is Your Soul Mission? Where we're going to take the very first few steps to assist you, to facilitate you in getting clear about your soul mission, about removing some of the obstacles in the way of achieving your soul mission, and then finally receiving guidance and healing from 3-star galaxy systems. So it's happening on Wednesday, the 26th from 7 to 9:30 p.m. here in London at Columbia Hotel in Lancaster Gate. So if you're interested in coming to this event, please follow the link that I have just posted in the comments section. I'm so looking forward to having you there and getting you moving and progressing along your soul mission. So if this resonates with you, do click on that. There are limited spaces. There's only 33 spaces going. So get your ticket while they are going. Okay, right. So I'm going to start doing some intuitive readings, card readings for a couple of people. So for those of you who would like an intuitive reading and card reading, please type yes into the comments box below. So this is your opportunity to have a free, energetic or intuitive reading from me. So, okay, so we've got 3 people saying yes. So I'm going to take them in order of who replied first. So we have Shakya replying first, then Elisa Marconi, and then Eliza Piatek next. Okay, so Shakya, I'd like you to post your question in the box below. Now, just to be clear, these questions, they are not about fortune telling. This is not about predicting the future. This is about asking a real question for real advice. Number 1, because I believe that we all create our own reality, and number 2, timelines change quite often. The more we think about things, we can change them, so they're not set in stone. So Shakya, if you wouldn't mind posting your question in the comment section, and then we will get started. Excuse me. So whilst Shakya is formulating her question, the rest of you also have to think about what it is that you want to ask about. And the more specific you are, the more direct guidance can come through. Upstairs, they're always telling me, please remind people to be as specific as possible. So let me just check in the comments box to see if Shakya has posted her question. And again, you don't have to write an essay. It can be a simple question. Okay, right, so I can see Shakya's got a question here. All right, Shakya, how do I progress my soul mission in my own unique way? In your own unique way. So, can you be a little bit more specific? So, your unique way, is this a question about what is it that you want to offer, or how do you need to move, or you know what you're offering but you're not sure how to progress in that area? Or is it the third question, how to be uniquely you, authentically you? So just have a think about which of those 3 that might be, so we're a little bit clear on that. So while Shakya's writing, I know we said we'd go until 9 o'clock. We're running a little bit over. I hope you can bear with us while we go a little bit over time, but I think it'll give you a nice idea of how I work and how I work with you guys. Okay. I'm just waiting for Shakya to give us a little message. But for now, I do feel like I'm being drawn to pull from the Lightworker Oracle deck. So I'm just going to shuffle and pull from there initially, and then we're going to take it further. So what guidance does Shakya Divinadetta need in order to progress her soul mission in her own unique way? Okay, right. Okay, so I'm getting a very nice message from this particular card. Okay, so the card that we picked from the Lightworker Oracle deck, which is the Alana Fairchild Oracle deck, says reassurance of the golden light. So what I'm getting is you already know which way you need to progress your soul mission in your own unique way. Maybe you just need the reassurances. Yes, the ideas that you have, they're valid, they're working, and you just need to be reassured. Yes, it's fine, that it's going to work out the way that it needs to. So that's the main reassurance from the guidance above. So I also want to pull some cards from Caroline Myss, the Archetype deck. Now, the Archetype deck really talks about what are the energies that we need to embody more of in order to help us along in our soul mission. So let's see what we are getting. Okay, so the card that we picked was the Liberator. Now, every archetype has its light and its shadow aspects. The light aspects are about freeing yourself and others from any outmoded or outdated beliefs and patterns. So you need to do this for yourself even more, and that will allow you to do that for others as well in the way that you run your business. Now, the shadow aspects is imposing your will or dominance over others as the only way to do something, and ignoring any kind of legitimate constraints that might exist for that person or for yourself. So it's very much about allowing yourself to let go of anything that's preventing you from feeling reassured, or giving yourself that reassurance that actually, no, the way that I'm doing this, the way that I'm presenting my particular way is absolutely right for me. So what are some of the activities that you could do to allow yourself to let go of any of those kind of outdated ways or feelings? So if we don't feel trusting or reassured in ourselves, then it means, do we trust ourselves? Do we trust ourselves that actually, yes, this is the way to go about things? Okay, so you need to do some energy work on yourself. Or energy work may be the way for you to go forward with your soul mission. But absolutely, if you are doing energetic work on people, and I know you are, you also need to do the same for yourself. So if you are having any doubts or concerns about progressing forward in your soul mission, absolutely make sure you're doing your daily practice, your energetic practice for yourself, and that will come across for your clients. And doing the energetic practice will allow you to let go of those outdated beliefs and give you your reassurance inside you, so that the core of you believes in what you are doing is right for you. So because I know that Shaka is a female, I'd also like to pull a card from the Oracle deck. So remember I talked about the wheel of life, yeah? That you need to make sure that your receptive energy and your active outgoing energy are working together. So if the energy work is the action that you need to take on a daily basis so that you can move forward, let's see what the feminine energy has to say about being receptive. So what do we need to know for Shakya in terms of her receptive energy? Oh, and one card fell out. Okay, so you picked the goddess of Bast. And this is all about being independent. This is making sure that you are independent, and this is a foundation for your strength and success. So this is it's coming back to feeling okay, feeling trusting in yourself that yes, my unique way, my independent way is the right way to go forward. So removing any fears or doubts, making sure that you're listening to that inner voice that's saying, this is what I enjoy, this is what I like, this is what I want to do. And typically we can listen to so many people around us. Everybody has an opinion on what you need to do for your soul mission, but it's your voice that's the important one. So make sure you retain independence in your receptive energy, in your feminine energy field. Okay, so Shakya, I hope that gives you some guidance and indication for what you need to do next. That completes your reading for now. And just let me know that you've received this. Any feedback is welcome. Okay. You're welcome. It's my pleasure, Shakya. Okay, so the second person that we had was Elisa Marconi. So Elisa Marconi, are you ready with your question? Could you put that in the comments box below so we can start doing a reading for you? Okay, so I'm just giving Elisa a moment to post her question. Now, if Elisa is not with us, then if Elisa Piatek is still with us, also make sure that your question is ready. Because if Elisa Marconi is not with us, then we will go straight on to the next person. Okay, so I can't see Elisa Marconi is with us. So we're going to go straight on to Elisa Piatek. Elisa Piatek, if you are still with us, then please go ahead and type your question down below. So while Elisa Piatek is typing her question, I'm going to pull a Rumi Oracle deck for all of us here for this particular Facebook Live, and what we need to know as a collective light workers and energy workers and star seeds. What do we need to know right now in terms of progressing on our soul mission purpose? So I'm just shuffling the deck. Oops. Okay. Wow, that's amazing. So we actually pulled 2 cards. So for us as a collective, 2 cards came up. Actually, these are beautiful cards. Number 1 is commitment. Commitment to our soul mission. And secondly, the dissolving light. So I'm going to read a little bit from the Rumi Oracle deck about these 2 cards. I only got these recently for my birthday this summer, so I'm still getting to know them, and they're just absolutely gorgeous, really resonate. So for the commitment card, okay, I've just, I've just seen the comments by Elisa Piatek and Elisa Marconi. Still waiting for the questions that you have to ask. So if you can just type your comment below, and then we can answer your question. We can do an intuitive reading. So while you're doing that, we're going to read out the information behind the commitment card. So there is a flame that must be safeguarded. This is from the Alana Fairchild. In truth, it can never be extinguished. It is the light that never goes out. Even with such enduring power, our recognition and respect of this flame is essential to human development. This flame is holy and lies with each human heart. So when the flame is recognized for its worth, it ceases to flicker and smoke, becoming very still. And in the stillness, the light can fulfill its destiny to shine brightly, so as to reveal every path absolutely clearly and without wavering in the fluctuations of fear or attachment. And this card is about desire. It's about getting the balance between having the desire to fulfill our life purpose and not allowing our attachment to the desire or how it's going to pan out to be a hindrance. So when we allow ourselves to be in the moment every moment, that will give us the guidance to keep going and to keep affirming our commitment to our soul mission. So the second card, the dissolving light. The dissolving light. So there is a light so intense, so powerful that nothing other than itself, its own truth, can exist in its presence. It is the sacred seed, the star of your being, lit up from within. It is the light that never goes out. The light that is so powerful is beyond duality and dark. It can never be extinguished or diminished. It is beyond logic. So this card says that though you seek the divine and even know it is as love, you also know that it is fierce, wild, inexplicable, and demanding beyond measure. It wants you completely and utterly without condition. So there will be times in your life, such as now, when there is something not worthy of you that must be released. So this is a falsehood, a lie, or deception of some sort that you have come to believe about yourself, your life, or perhaps even another person. So you know what that deception is. So this card comes to you as a sign of that which is coming soon. So the divine wishes to live through you and into the world. And this is all about making sure that we keep tuning in to that guidance from the divine, from the source, to keep us on our path to our soul mission. So it is about making sure you keep to your commitment, but without confusing your desire with an attachment. And also the dissolving light. The light can be used to release anything that no longer serves you and allow you to listen to that inner guidance, inner voice. Okay, so I see questions have been written. So Elisa Piatek. I'm not clear about what my soul mission in which area of my soul mission should I develop to provide my money. So are you talking about selecting a soul mission that will reward you as well as reward you on a soul level? Or which particular kind of service or career that you want to work in, or that you should work in order to fulfill your soul mission? Okay, so this is about getting clear. This is about getting clear about the soul mission. Okay, so let's pick a couple of cards. And for some reason, for you, Elisa, I feel like we need to start with the Rumi Oracle deck, because this is all about divine love, divine guidance. So let us start here. So what guidance do we need for Elisa Piatek about what her soul mission is in, or how to get clear about that? Oops, so a card fell out. Okay. I love this card. I picked it myself a while ago. The impossible made possible. So this card talks about if you already have a particular idea, but you're doubtful about it. You're doubtful about how it might make you money, or you're doubtful about it, then be reassured that what you see as impossible at the moment can be made possible. So let's have a look at what it is that you might be seeing as impossible right now. Okay, so let's go for the archetype cards to tell us what it is, what aspect of you might be feeling like this is not possible, and what that can guide you to make it possible. So what guidance for Elisa Piatek? And Elisa, I'd really recommend coming to my event next week, because we're going to do a particular exercise to help you get clear. So if you are in London in next week, Wednesday evening, I really recommend coming to that, because we'll be going into a lot more detail. Okay, so card is coming out. Okay. So what is it that you need to become aware of? Mentor. So either you need to embody the archetype of the mentor who assists and guides other people on their journey, or you need to get a mentor to assist you, to guide you on your journey. So it's very difficult to go on this journey on your own without some kind of guidance or like-minded people around. You can definitely get there, but I can tell you it takes a much longer time. So it is useful to benefit from others who are, a couple of steps ahead or many steps ahead, to get clear about how you can get from A to B a lot faster. The shadow aspect of this archetype is that if you do have people that you are guiding and they are becoming masters, then you have to allow them to move forward and move on in their life and be masters and teachers themselves. So only you know where this resonates from. But for some reason, I'm getting that it would be useful for you to have some kind of mentor, facilitator, or guide to help you move forward, to give you some ideas or templates to move forward. Now, there's also some stuff from day-to-day living, which I feel is coming up. For some reason, I'm getting thought processes coming up, and some mental confusion. And important to do a daily practice. Okay, this is so interesting. Now, what I picked from the Daily Guidance Oracle deck, from the Doreen Virtue deck, was the wedding card. Now, this is not to say that you're about to get married, but what it can indicate is what you have to do is combine the receptive and the dynamic aspects in order to get clarity and to move forward. So remember, I talked about if you want to move forward, you need to balance the two, the masculine and the feminine aspects. The masculine that takes direction, takes action, but the feminine who also receives guidance and provides the ideas and the muse for the action to be taken. So these two need to be balanced, a bit more balanced. And I'm getting that you need to balance more your masculine energy. More of the masculine energy. Okay. And let's just see. For now, for your feminine energy, what is it that you need to embody more of in the feminine energy? What does Elisa Piatek need to embody more in her receptive feminine energies? Oh, wow. This is a very powerful card. Anybody knows about this goddess, Kali? She cuts things out. She is all about beginnings and endings, and she is quite ruthless. And she's saying the old must be released so that the new can enter. So if you've got old patterns of behavior, old friends, boyfriends, ways of being or doing, they have to be let go of because they're clouding your judgment. they're clouding your judgment. There's something you need to let go of. And you know what that is. The feminine needs to, your feminine side needs to feel reassured. It's okay to let go. And you know what that is. So do an inventory. You've done the inventory on the wheel of life. You'll know what areas are coming up that need changes, that stuff needs to be cut out. Speaking of cutting out, now happy equinox, everybody. We're entering the autumnal season, which is also known as the enchantress cycle in our seasonal pattern. Now, the enchantress is all about creating magic, but also cutting things out of her life that are no longer working. So we're now stepping into that season where you're separating the wheat from the chaff. So allow yourself to do that. Okay, one final card, Elisa, from the Lightworker Oracle deck. What guidance for Elisa Piatek? Okay, this is great. Trust in the plan. Trust that everything is going the way that it needs to go. So this is an absolute thumbs up from your guides, from your higher self. Trust that everything needs to go that needs to go. I do feel there is some worry and fear happening, but allow yourself to trust that inner guidance, that inner voice. Just trust. Okay, I hope that moves you forward, Elisa. And now we are going to go on to Elisa Marconi. Let's have a look. Starting from the fact that I feel quite stuck in all areas of my life at the moment. What do I have to change or let go to find my soul mission and attract right things and people to my life? Okay, so this feels like a more of a cross-cutting question across all areas of life, and this really is about getting balance in the being and the doing aspects of you, the receptive and the dynamic energies. So let us ask about in what ways does Elisa Marconi need to balance the dynamic parts of herself in order to get more balance in all areas of life to find her soul mission? Okay, so one card is coming out. Okay. Right, so you pick the rebel. So your dynamic energy needs to start rebelling against any type of system, person, or way of doing things. This could be internal way of doing things that doesn't give you authority or doesn't make you feel powerful or centered within you. So this is about questioning the way you have done things. You may have heard the saying, if you keep doing the same things over and over again, hoping for a different result, it's a madness. It's a kind of madness. If you want something to change, then you need to make some changes or do things differently. So now you need to start thinking and questioning, do I need to be doing things in this way? Do I need to be hanging out with these people? Do I need to be taking this kind of approach in my life? How am I spending my time? Am I using my time wisely? Am I focusing more on myself, or am I giving my power away to others? Am I focusing my attention on others? So start questioning the things that you are doing, the time that you're using, the energy, and what your energy is being used on. Okay, so this is for your dynamic energies. Interestingly, I'm also getting another card coming up. So this is the Liberator. It's very similar to the other card that we picked earlier. And it's about liberating yourself from outmoded ways of being and thinking. And this is about questioning the way you do things, the way you think about things. Absolutely. Okay, so for your receptive energies, what does Elisa Marconi need to become aware of for her receptive energies in order to move forward? And just to say, Elisa, yeah, a simple question that you can ask yourself, if you know, to challenge the status quo is this getting results? Is this way of being or doing getting me results? What am I doing? What's the cause and what's the effect? What's the result? So simple question like that. And you can also be honest. You can ask people and friends, trusted friends around you, hey, I've noticed that I'm doing this in my life, but that's not quite working out. You know, have you noticed any patterns or behavior that I'm doing that's not working for me? You know, so but make sure you ask people that you trust. The friends that are looking out for you will give you an honest answer. Okay. So what does Elisa Marconi need to know for her personalities? Okay, so I'm getting Vesta. Vesta is the goddess of home. So there's something about either creating a home within yourself to house your soul more comfortably or more well-being for you, or physically your home either needs some repairing or you need to create an environment that's more welcoming. So it'll be one of those two aspects. But for me, personally, I'm getting you need to create a home for you, for your feminine being that's honorable and respectful of you, that's a safe place. You need to create a safe place for you, for your feelings and for your feminine energy. Yeah, that's what I'm getting for you. Okay, so what is it? What steps do you need to take in order to start questioning the way you're doing things, but also creating a safe space for you, for your home? So we're asking the daily guidance oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. What steps? Okay. So sometimes it takes a while for the cards to come out. That's okay. Okay, so this card started pointing out to me. So what you need to forgive, you need to do some forgiveness practices. Either forgive yourself for who you've been or allowed yourself to be or do, or you need to forgive another for being who they are or doing what they have done. Holding on to resentment and anger against this person is like taking poison. What's done is done and cannot be undone. But you can stop feeling angry about it, because the more you allow yourself to focus on what has gone wrong or how they've done you wrong, the more you are actually hurting yourself. Because I can tell you they have long gone moved on or started to think about other things. So actually what you're doing is you're beating yourself up even more, even after they've gone or they've done what they've done. So you're doing their job for them. Don't. This is one way that you're giving your power away. Allow yourself to forgive yourself and to forgive them. Forgive does not mean to say that what they did or said was okay. To forgive means to let go. Let go of needing to, wanting to think or think about this situation anymore. Okay, so one more card from the Lightworker Oracle deck about where you are in discovering your soul mission purpose. So what do they have to say for Elisa Marconi? Oops. Okay, so one is coming out here. All right, initiation by fire. So I know this card quite well. I picked it this year. And basically, you need to go through a purification process. This means doing a lot of releasing work, releasing old patterns, karmic clearing, anything you can do to release the past, to let go of any attachments to anything. This is a purifying, fiery energy. And if you do this, this is a test now, you see, Elisa. This is not just a purifying process. This is a test. You're being tested so that you're being prepared for your soul mission. If you pass this test and you allow yourself to let go and purify and release, then the next step of your journey will take place. So very powerful card. Definitely need to take some active steps to do more purifying and releasing work. Okay, so that is it for you, Elisa. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation and the card readings. And again, I encourage you to come to my event next week on Wednesday evening, where we're going to do some active releasing work, as well as getting clear about your soul mission. And I will be transmitting healing transmissions, DNA activations and upgrades from 3 star systems, from Lyra, from Sirius and Pleiades. But for now, I just want to say thank you so much for, attending this Facebook Live. And I'm just looking through the messages again. So Elisa Piatek, she asked about the masculine energy. So we will have covered that with the Angel Oracle card or the Archetypes deck. Elisa Marconi saying yes, totally. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. And yes, Elisa Piatek, you're very welcome. Thanks a lot. So lovely people. Thank you so much for being here, and feel free to share this with friends and other colleagues who may be wondering how to move forward in their soul mission. And I wish you an absolutely peaceful evening and a wonderful night's sleep, and enjoy yourselves, enjoy life. Take care for now. Bye for now.